Life exists 500 meters beneath the entire ice sheet of Antarctica, where sunlight has never reached. In that world of eternal darkness, some isolated small creatures have survived for thousands of years. Here, the entire ice sheet extends up to 5 kilometers deep. Seen from above, it looks like a vast white desert, lifeless and silent. But hidden beneath that white surface are miraculous things. Mysterious rivers flowing backwards, lakes wider than cities, active volcanoes, and air bubbles millions of years old, locked away in Earth's largest reservoir of fresh water. And now, powerful nations are desperate to take control of this treasure. China is building new permanent bases, and Russia is conducting geological surveys. But what exactly is under the ice that everyone is so desperate for? What are they really looking for? To find the answer, today we must dive into the mysterious depths of Antarctica's frozen ice. Antarctica is the 5th largest continent in the world by area. Even if you combined the entire United States and Mexico, it wouldn't be as large. About 70% of the world's fresh water is frozen in this continent's ice sheet, which is so thick it could even cover Europe's Alps. It is the coldest, driest, and windiest region on Earth. In winter, the sun doesn't rise for months. Temperatures can drop to minus 90 degrees Celsius, and fierce winds blow everything away. Yet, even in such a hostile environment, life persists. Penguins and seals live in colonies on the ice-covered shores. Diverse fish swim beneath the sea. Even in the deep, dark waters under the ice, microorganisms and small shrimp-like creatures survive somehow. Yes, nature has spread life everywhere in its own way. Antarctica's ice is actually a massive library of time. Every year, snow falls continuously and gets compressed under its own weight into layers, much like the annual rings of a trunk tree. Each ice layer is a silent history of a single year, trapping tiny air bubbles that hold samples of that year's atmosphere. Thus, beneath Antarctica's frozen ice lies everything from ancient atmospheres to prehistoric details of Earth's climate. Scientists have drilled several kilometers deep to pull out long ice cores containing air trapped from nearly 1.2 million years ago. From this data, we've learned when the Sahara Desert was a green forest and when mammoths roamed the Earth. It is even revealed that the carbon dioxide concentration in the atmosphere back then was half of today's levels. The ice forgets nothing. What I have said so far is just the surface chapter of this continent. Diving deeper, Antarctica reveals even more astonishing secrets. Hidden beneath the ice is an entire world of water. Thousands of hidden rivers and lakes are spread like a web deep within Antarctica. Some lakes are larger than cities. They have survived for millions of years without sunlight. Sometimes, when the water of a hidden lake suddenly shifts path, the ice above fluctuates by several meters, as if something moved inside the belly of the ice. Occasionally, this hidden world reveals itself through the ice, like the mysterious red deep waterfall emerging from the Taylor Glacier, known as Blood Falls. At first sight, it looks as if the ice is bleeding. Later, scientists realized it is actually ancient salty water trapped hundreds of meters below, rich in iron. As the water cuts through the ice and reaches the air, the iron oxidizes and turns a blood-red color. This proves that nutrient-rich water from beneath the ice reaches the ocean and influences the entire environment, providing nutrients to tiny algae, which in turn feed countless krill, the foundation for the world's largest creature, the blue whale. Deep under the ice lies a massive lake called Vostok, which has been sealed in ice without sunlight for millions of years. Scientists believe its waters may contain life forms found nowhere else on Earth. Besides Vostok, there are over 700 subglacial lakes, and scientists have already found signs of bacteria and microorganisms by drilling into a few. They have even seen small shrimp-like creatures swimming in the dark waters far from sunlight. These locked samples show how life can hide in such hostile depths. Therefore, scientists believe similar life might exist under the ice-covered moons of Jupiter or Saturn. Now we have reached the actual landmass of Antarctica. Because it was covered in ice, we didn't know that beneath it lie spectacular mountains and valleys. The Gamburtsev mountain range is as high as the European Alps. The Denman Canyon is the world's deepest canyon, about 3.5 kilometers deep, yet it was entirely hidden under the ice. Furthermore, a series of dormant volcanoes have been discovered in the west under the ice. They don't erupt, but they constantly melt the ice from below. Fossils found in the rock layers tell us this frozen land was once a green land. Millions of years ago, when Antarctica was part of the Gondwana supercontinent, it was home to dense forests, rivers, and animals. Over time, the continent shifted to the South Pole and became covered in ice. But the signs of that lost world still remain in fossils and soil. This is Antarctica's invisible treasure, for which world powers are now strategically positioning themselves. Geologists believe that beneath Antarctica lies a wealth of coal, oil, gas, and rare minerals, potentially worth trillions of dollars. But currently, these resources lie dormant in the eternal ice. Because of the 1959 Antarctic Treaty, the continent was dedicated only to peace and scientific research. Mining or military activities remain prohibited here today. However, in 2048, the first opportunity to review this treaty will arise. If the ban is lifted, a new competition for resource grabbing will begin on the ice. Even now, Russia is conducting geological surveys for oil and gas, and China is increasing its presence by building new stations. Antarctica's environment is highly sensitive. The ice, ocean, and life are so interconnected that hitting one destabilizes the rest. The balance created over millions of years could collapse in a few decades. Although the treaty has kept the continent peaceful for 70 years, 2048 is not far away, and that is when the future of Antarctica will be decided.